Do you think you'll take Liam Ryan to Sydney?
Yeah, we're going to take a few. Yeah, I think we'll take up to 25 players because we're just not ready to make a decision yet. So we fly out today, so there'll be a few at the airport. There'll be a few on different flights probably too. So there's a bit going on. I think Schofield's got a pending berth, so we're going to, if he's part of the squad, whether he travels a bit later, and there's a few other things there. So Jared Brander will play his first game for the club though, so that's just really exciting for us. I think he's our 7th debutant, 8th this year, which we're really pleased about. It's not a competition for us, but these guys have earned their spot, and they've played with real enthusiasm when they come in. So Jared's another one for us, and yeah, can't wait to see him play.
Why pick him this week, Adam?
Well, obviously with the loss of Jack, we're looking for a forward to replace and play that role. And it was a toss-up between him and a couple of other guys. Obviously Fraser McGuinness, we know what he can deliver, and we just thought we'd give the kid a go.
What does Jared bring specifically, you think, that makes him a good bet for this guy?
Well, it's not just this game, he's our future as well. What he brings, look, he's got high-end talent. He's only 18 or 19, so we've got to, take our time with the bigger fellas, but he's got enough attributes at East Perth and what we've seen this year to suggest that it's going to work for us at AFL level. He's got a high work rate, big tank. He's pretty clean on the ground as well, and he's 195 centimetres, so I'm not going to pump him up too much, but he's right to go.
It's quite a compressed ground, which makes it a different challenge for a tall forward. There'll be a lot of contests. Any concerns with a young player?
Look, yeah, we throw him in the deep end. We've done it all year, so we're not going to worry about. Sydney are the best defence in the comp, so the way we see it anyway, and they definitely did a number on us round 1. So I don't think we're here to wait for the right type of game for Jared. We need him to fill a hole for us, and he'll do it.
You've enjoyed that 3 tall, the Waterman, Kennedy, Darling combination. Is that also the reason that you like?
Not really. No, it's not about talls for us. We think our players who have got height can still bring good pressure. So that's really important with today's game. The height thing's not something we're looking to get an advantage on every week. They just happen to be our mix, and the ability to compete when the ball hits the deck's really important. And night game, small ground, it's going to hit the deck a lot. So yeah, we wouldn't be having this conversation. We didn't think Jared could fill that void.
Would Liam be a punt if you took him? Would he, or if you played him?
Yeah, he's. We had the bye last week, obviously, and we trained. We had a match practice then, so we sort of thought that was the hit out that he needed to be available. The next question is, are we going to play him? And I'm not in the position now to say yes or no. We'll take him though.
How's he feeling about his ankles? Any apprehension there? Or is he?
No, he looks pretty sharp.
And then he comes back, does he, and plays if he doesn't play? Is that how it works?
Yeah, we've got to think through that as well. If we make a call, when we make the call, and how we can get availability for Waffle on the weekend for East Perth. The situation we do have though is Waffle's on Saturday, and then we've got a Thursday night game against Essendon, which is a 5-day break. So unfortunately, we've got to plan differently with our squad the next 2 weeks. So it's just a little bit different for us. So we've got to be smart about that.
Eric McKenzie ready to play?
Yeah, he'll play this week. He'll play at East Perth, so he's right to go. It's been a long build-up for him, so not expecting too much from him. Just want to get around there, have a bit of fun, and remember what it's like play a bit of footy. So yeah, good to have him back.
It's a bit of a landmark moment for your squad and your depth, though, isn't it, to have that extra experienced tall defender available again?
Yeah. Look, we've been really relying on Barras and McGovern and a little bit of Schofield. So he complements our talls. The game's changing in different ways too. There's a lot more smaller forward lines we've got to combat. And what Eric can do is he can play tall and small as well. He's done that his whole career. So having him available is going to be really important in the back half of the year.
Well, usually when you play Sydney, it's like an audit, isn't it, on how your footy's going. They seem a bit vulnerable at the SCG at the moment. You've got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's an audit for us. We've been playing pretty consistent football against every week. So we play with real spirit round 1. I think that was a catalyst to hitting some good form. So all we want our players to do is play with that same spirit and trust each other that they can play their role, and win or lose. As long as we display that, we'll be okay.
Any thoughts about their record at the SCG this year?
This year?
Sydney,
Oh, yeah, you look into it. You look at the ground, it's different. Why have they lost? I mean, we're looking into it. We've looked into it, but, you know, they've played some pretty good sides there that have beaten them in the contest, I suppose. But, you know, to say that you're going to go out there and just concentrate on that and that's going to win us or lose us the game, it's a reasonable statement to make, but actually executing it's another thing. So they've always been a really good contested team, and they normally play the ground pretty well, so we're anticipating that.
And what about Buddy? We all saw what he did in round one.
Yeah, I do remember what happened to Buddy. I was hoping that heel was still lingering from round one, but look, he's an exceptional talent, and we struggled to handle it during the early part of the year, and he's a significant player, you know, but we're going to deal with it, don't we? So I'm sure some of our boys learnt some of those lessons, but part of it was just he was too good.
You gave Barras the first crack last time. Did you go with him again?
Yeah, we'll look at it. Yeah, there's definitely things that I think we're doing a little bit better than round one, but there's things that Sydney are doing a lot better than round one as well. So the makeup of the sides won't be totally different, but the way that both of us have played there's been tweaks throughout the season, and you know, Buddy's definitely in pretty good touch. So yeah, we'll look at all those things.
What have you seen from Sydney? Their improvement has been pretty impressive the last month or so.
Yeah, well, they're in good form. Their ability to win the contest has been, you know, pretty obvious for a number of years. What they do behind the ball, how they defend, is real predictable. You know, you really struggle to score against Sydney, so I think, you know, part of the makeup is we have to kick a winning score, and to do that at SCG against a really good side is difficult. So that's our challenge.
Is it a fact that you've only played there once in 8 years? Is that a factor at all going into this game?
Not really. I mean, these stats get thrown out. Someone told me we haven't beaten Sydney at the SCG since 1999. Oh, what do you do about that? You know, I've only played them 6 times there, so we'll see how we go this week. Every time we play Sydney, it's a different side. So yeah, I'm not too worried about that.
Do you think Horse might play 2 ruckmen? Do you think he's thinking about that?
I'm not sure. I doubt it, but you don't know. We'll look at the side when it comes out, and we'll prepare. We'll play 2, so we'll see what they do on Thursday night.
What have you made of Callum Sinclair's year?
He's in really good form. Yeah, he's really good form. He's hitting the scoreboard, taking his marks. You know, we obviously had him for a couple of years here. When I got here, he's, you know, part of a campaign we had in 2015, and we rate him really highly. Really sad to see him go, but his current form is probably as good as it's ever been.
What changes is about your footy because of the shape of the ground, Adam?
No, we won't change too much. No, I don't think. I mean, the width is a little bit wider than Optus, and the length is a little bit shorter. So, you know, you can get lost as a forward at SCG, and I think, you know, having that as a home ground, you do play it. I'm sure they'll play it a bit differently than most teams, because they get to train there and play there all the time. So that's an advantage to Sydney, just like it is when teams come over here. So that's just something you've got to deal with.
Do you have to tell your players to not get caught wide on the wings? The Swans seem to be very good at getting it back inside and going the short way home.
Yeah, no, I think we'll just play our way, and we'll, you know, I don't think we need to adapt too much. Like, it's 6 metres wider, so that's not a hell of a lot. It's probably more the length. It's the difference. I think it's 10 or 11 metres shorter. So before you know it, you're too high up the ground as a forward. But hopefully our players can just adjust.
Just touching on the fixtures again, is it almost a case of the players who feature in the waffle this weekend, it wouldn't be realistic for them to be in the selection frame?
Well, it's difficult, isn't it? Yeah. So 5-day break going into Essendon next week. It's not ideal for us. So we've got other ways to get our players some match fitness, whether we play them for a bit over a half. Is that fair for East Perth and the waffle in general? Do we play them in the 2s? Do we just train them up? So we'll probably take an extra 1 or 2 to Sydney to have that precaution, and, you know, also the fact that we probably don't want them playing.
Yeah, Shuey and Marston, how are they looking?
We'll have to find out on Thursday. What day is it? It's Wednesday, don't it? Yeah. Wait till tomorrow.
Does it make it, can I go back to that one, does it make it difficult for you, Ryan, because you want to get some game time in him, and if he doesn't play Friday night and can't play waffle, then the next Thursday?
Yeah, it is difficult for Liam, for anyone coming. I think we've got 6 or 7 players coming back from injury, so we want him to play footy, but availability for seniors probably overrides that, especially if it's someone who's played seniors before and's got significant talent. And what we got in on the weekend in our intra-club was really important, and all of them got through that. So there's a little bit of match fitness there, but not ideal.
Would you like to see your fixtures taken into account when Waffle does his fixtures for someone like East Perth?
What do you reckon? Yeah, I'll whack that over the fence. Because of course we'd like to have a bit of stability there. I mean, we've got to respect the Waffle comp as well. So we're a part of that. Hopefully doesn't happen very often, but these buys, there's lots of buys at Waffle level, and we're just going to make sure that for us we've got to try and manage that with game time and guys coming back and suspensions and all those things that. Sometimes it's not ideal, but we respect the Waffle comp. It's
not too much of a stretch, though, to argue that East Perth could play a Friday night game into your Thursday. Yeah,
it'd be great to have some Waffle footy before our games at Optus. That'd be fantastic. So that's not my call.
Just something on a different note, Sean Burgoyne playing his 350th game this weekend. Where does he rate amongst the modern greats for you?
The longevity of Sean, and what I was privileged enough to be part of a coaching group that coached him at Hawthorn for 4 years, and he's all class as a player, and the way he plays is the way he is off the field. So I'm not surprised he's in the form he's in at the moment, and it wouldn't surprise me if he played on again next year. And I suppose just for the guy, the values and the morals he lives and how he carries himself is it's first class. So really well done to him.
And Simo, there's been a wide-ranging fan survey, mate. I don't know if you saw it, but you've been voted the Coach of the Year so far.
Oh, okay. I thought it was my outfit for yesterday, so it's the Chaz.
This is before Chaz. What do you think about that sort of accolade?
I suppose last year would have been bottom. So, that's great. I mean, obviously we're not here to win those type of surveys, but it doesn't really affect too much. But we've won 10 in a row, so I'm assuming we'd get some votes there. But no, like I said, the roller coasters the highs are very high and the lows are pretty low in our industry, and I'm not getting carried away with it, as you can probably tell.
And also, the club has voted the team to win the premiership. Does that add any sort of pressure? I'm just trying.
What do you want me to say to that? Look, I think I've said this a couple of times. We sometimes we go overs and sometimes we go unders. So we're not a club that lives in the middle, and that's great. We love expectations, but we don't live like that. We've got really solid strategic plans about how we operate, and the highs and lows will come. And respect that. That's what people have said, but we're not living that way.
And even more importantly, what's happened to the outfit?
The Chaz. I left it in the rooms, actually. I lost the wig, so might have to come out at the Christmas party end of the year.
John Longmire said the hair was great, the costume wasn't so great on you. Any response to that? He said you might actually regret wearing the costume later on.
There was a few wardrobe malfunctions in the pre-game warm-up, which I had to take care of, and I'm glad nothing happened on the big stage.
What was that like when Neil was talking to you all, though? Was that a pretty powerful moment, though, when he was saying, next year I mightn't be able to speak, I mightn't be able to walk, but, thank you for doing this and let's do this. I mean, that must have been pretty impactful, was it? Yeah, well, you come across some very good people in the industry, and he's probably right up there with the best. I've heard him speak a few times on a personal note, and that was in front of the coaches and the cameras, but the way he speaks there is the way he speaks to you privately as well, and nothing but inspiration really for what he's done for the cause, and very selfless. So I'm not surprised at all that they've raised so much money, and every coach committed to looking a little bit silly for him and his cause. So really proud of what he's done. And you're going again at the Essendon game, I believe. He's coming over for that as well. And
we're going again.
He's there again, is he?
Yeah, I'm not sure if we're going again. I think Chaz might be put to bed for a little while, but yeah, look, he was part of our club here a few years ago, and some really strong relationships were made when he was here. So we see him from time to time when he comes over.
Do you have dinner with Gil?
No, it's a bit difficult. Yeah, I've got to get back for training at some stage. So.
What are your thoughts about sort of starting positions for players?
I think it's in pretty good hands that they're working through it. I mean, as soon as I hear those things, I think about what does that actually mean? Because you could use that as a starting point, and then within 10 seconds, the game looks exactly like it did now. So I think that's one of many things they're looking at. So as long as they what-if those things to the point where, is it really going to help? I feel like they're on the right track in terms of how they're going about the process, but hopefully we can be part of the decision-making towards the back end about how it would look and how we might expose those type of strategies, because already I'm thinking about it.
Is there one particular strategy you would like to see above the others implemented?
Well, I haven't thought overly too deeply about it. At the moment, my job's to try and win games of footy, but I suppose that how you dispose the ball, I don't think rotations are really connected to congestion. I mean, the evidence is not there for me, but I could be proven wrong. So to answer your question, I don't know. I think the rules, though, if you're going to change it, probably have to be significant.
Have you thought about zones?
Maybe less players in the field, the last touch out of bounds, those type of things. I'm not sure on the zones because players will adapt to just getting on the starting blocks and just making it congested pretty quick if that's the coach's instruction. So they're going to work through all those things, and I'm confident that it's in the right hands and we're back in it. They're doing it the right way and not do it in January next year.
Because the realities with zones and starting positions that coaches coach the game differently to the way they did before anyway, don't they? Like they view it as the game's always played in a bubble around the ball as opposed to a full field.
Yeah, it is. But there's tactics already that have changed a little bit this year. I heard Nathan Buckley talk today. I mean, there's teams now playing guys out of the goal square, which didn't happen a year and a half ago. So those things will come and go, and we have different tactics than Sydney. So having zones, we'll just adapt around. It'll be a starting point, then you'll get back to what you're doing. So, but that's pretty naive. I haven't thought too much about it.
And you're comfortable with them trialling it with, say, Hawthorn or whatever? That's using Victorian clubs too? Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, we'd love to be part of it over here, but we're just not in the hub, are we? So, unfortunately, we get to hear the results.